it seems like everybody has to co-parent at some point with technology and social media. So, like, that's not a bad thing. Is that what I'm hearing?
I would say that um, there are going to be times where you're going to rely on screen for whatever reason, right? You're sick, you're a single parent. There's so many. I mean, we could have a whole podcast about like
Oh,
why,
yeah.
yeah, like how society has failed parents and why screens have kind of stepped in as a co-parent, which is an amazing phrase. It's a very nuanced thing, right? And
Mm,
this is where social media really messes with parents' heads because social media doesn't like nuance, right? There is no one size fits all approach. And I think the biggest thing to be thinking about is like, is this taking away from my child's experiences? Oftentimes, I will go out to dinner and I will see a child on an iPad. What are they doing on the iPad? I'm watching them and they are coloring on the iPad with their finger, right? They're doing some sort of coloring app.
hmm
Why are we giving a child an iPad to color instead of a piece of paper and a crayon? We're not talking about the parent who is using um, uh, a little bit of TV every day so that they can make dinner. That is not really, in my opinion, the issue, right? We're talking about these kids who are constantly being given technology, iPads, TV to quash their boredom. Anytime they're uncomfortable, they're given a screen. Anytime they're having a tantrum, they're given a screen. Anytime they're bored, they're given a screen. Anytime mom and dad want to get anything done. And it is the mentality of that that's the real problem, because what parents don't understand is that your child, there are so many things that you can do to rearrange your space, to reshift your mindset that would open up room for you to not need the screen.
mm,
And it starts from birth. It's like when our baby's an infant and they're staring at the wall and they're looking at the shadows, right, and they're very content. They're just staring. That's what they're supposed to be doing. You take out the light up VTech little pretend phone that lights up and sings and talks and shot, flashes lights everywhere, and you shove it in their face to get their attention. You are
mm,
conditioning your child to need constant stimulation. And so because of the lack of education around how children develop and how children's brains develop and how those types of things affect their long-term behaviors, we start to condition them to need that entertainment and that constant stimulation from birth. Oftentimes many parents do. And so then when they just, it's a cycle, right? You have to break the cycle. It's like you do that and they need it more, and then you do it because then they're tantruming and you don't want them to, so you give it to them, but then you're actually feeding this horrible cycle that you eventually are going to have to break. Is there, if you want to fold laundry, why can't you sit on the couch and allow your toddler to match socks instead of putting
mm,
on the, all they want is to be with you, right? Yes, it is hard. Yes, it makes it harder. Yes, they're going to tip over the laundry. Maybe you're on the verge of a breakdown and you can't do that. And that's okay. Put the TV on, right? But like, that isn't the vast majority of parents, right? The vast majority of parents do have the capacity to, for example, instead of turning the TV on, let their child help with the dinner prep. They just
mm.
don't know that that's an option. They don't understand how to facilitate that. They haven't done it in the past. And so now their child is wired for this constant need of stimulation. So it's like this breaking of the cycle. So I think there is absolutely a time and a place where a parent could need to use a screen, right? Again, there are a variety of reasons why, and that's a whole separate, that's a huge social, like societal issue that we could talk about. But as a general rule, it's like before you hand over a screen, just stop and think like, what is this doing? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I just need a break? Could I play music for my kid on an Alexa or on a radio or whatever, on a Yodo player or something? Could I put an audiobook on? Is there some other way that I could entertain and keep my kid busy, which are both phrases that I absolutely hate, so that I could get something done? Independent play. If your child doesn't know how to play independently, yeah, that's going to be hard, right? But that starts from birth.
Mm.
Teaching parents about how to set up their space, how to allow for that to naturally develop. Those things help kind of ward off the then 3-year-old who doesn't know how to play by themselves and constantly asks for TV. So hopefully that makes sense. There's
It,
definitely no, yeah, hard and fast. It's very, very nuanced. And each family is going to be different and have their own set of challenges and things that, needs that they have and that their kids have.
For sure.